All right, so Eric, you're about ready to talk about SKU rationalization?
I am. I'm looking forward to it.
And once again, just to sort of set expectations, what that means really is the process of determining what products should be kept, retired, or improved. And here's the fun thing, based on a myriad of factors that contribute to performance. So Eric's going to show you quickly how to sort of combine all those factors together to help you guys make the best decision. All righty, Eric, I'll hand it over to you.
Sounds good. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I appreciate everybody jumping on today. And I'm going to go off camera because I tend to be in the middle of the screen. So don't worry if I've disappeared. But one of the things Jed and I have had a lot of discussions about in the past really is working with manufacturing companies and trying to figure out what really is something that resonates with them. What are things that they need? How do they use these different bits and pieces in order to make their business better? And a lot of the things come down to really understanding how your business operates and really what is it your customer needs. And in designing the topic for this particular session, is we really decided that we wanted to take a look at SKU rationalization, or like having the right products for your customer base, and how to identify those products and make sure that you keep the ones that are doing well, you remove the ones that aren't doing so well, but all in all, you have the data and the information necessary to make the right decision. So one of the things that we looked at in kind of devising the plan forward is we wanted to make sure that our clients and the people that are using the software understand where the data is coming from and what they're looking at. So we have a set of dashboards that we use with our typical clients, and we come here and we want to take a look at how our SKUs are performing. And this is a holistic look of just a few items that exist within one of our companies, and we want to take a look at year-over-year sales, because that's usually where you typically start. How are my products performing? Are they doing better than they did last year? And in this particular dashboard, we identify some specific KPIs. So here, if I look at my deli French, I can see that, wow, I'm doing a lot better than I did last year. So I've got a nice little green arrow, and it tells me very quickly that I've got a problem. If I come to the bottom and I've got my marble rye, I'm kind of flatlined. And again, it's a quick way to identify if I have any issues. So the one issue I do want to point out here is that my pumpernickel is down about $4,000 from the previous year. And I can take a look at that in a couple different ways. I can highlight the line, and I can kind of take a look at my charts and really kind of visualize what the product is doing and how it's doing year over year. But that's only one side of the story. We don't want to just stop with the sales, because it could be a seasonal thing, or there are a number of factors that can contribute to that product not being sold. So we want to take a look really at the next level. So if we come and take a look at maybe a cost of goods analysis, and we want to look at our products from a costing standpoint. So we come to a different dashboard, more information designed to get to you very quickly. And we can see that this same deli pumpernickel has a significant costing problem. Right now, we're $15,000 more in producing the product than we can sell the product. So that's really a key indicator right there that we have a problem. And very quickly, with a lot of data behind the scenes, we can bring it together and we can tell the story of how your products, your individual SKUs are doing, so you can make a good decision. So where does this come from? This is great. It's a dashboard. It looks good. Well, I'm going to go into Business Central. And Business Central is the application here that drives all of the sales, the warehousing, and the manufacturing within your organization, within the manufacturing organization. Well, I'm going to take the first step, and I'm going to go ahead and click my items list. And I'm brought to the list here, and I can highlight my pumpernickel. And I want to, since I know that based on my Power BI report, it says that I'm way over costed, I can just quickly come here, click item. I can come to my cost shares. And now I can see a single line to start with, and see that my rolled up cost is for raw materials is $5.77. I know that's a problem, but I don't know what the problem is yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and expand this, and very quickly, I can see that all of my ingredients are tracking along pretty nicely until I get to molasses. Now, you're not going to typically see a price that's this large on a single unit. And I did that so that it showed that there was really some delta or some variance there. But what it's saying is that for this particular item, my molasses is $5.47, which is way too high for this product. Now, the nice thing in the screen is I can see not only all the different raw materials, but I can also see the capacity or the labor costs that are associated to each one of the production areas for this item. So in one nice screen, I can see what all is happening. And even better is I can dive into a sub BOM and I can see individually what's happening at the lower levels of that BOM when we might be producing a dough or something that's preliminary in that bake process for baking. But let's really track on molasses for a second. So as somebody that's reviewing the costing, it's reviewing to make sure whether I want to keep the SKU or not, I need to be able to quickly get places. So I'm just going ahead and click on the number, and I'm going to bring up molasses. Now, at this point, I've got a lot of information here. This is called the item card, and I've got how much inventory I have on hand. But what I really want to focus for this particular session on is what is my unit cost? Right here, $2.20 or $2.74 for just this item. And that's at a unit of measure of about an ounce. So that's pretty high, but it still doesn't really tell me the true story. So if I come up here to value entries, and I want to highlight the first, say, 6 or 7 lines here. And you'll notice that each one of these lines is sorted by date, and you'll see that each one of my cost per units are going up each time I purchase this product. So at the end of the day, I've got a list of items here. I've got a list of purchases, and I can dive into this even further if I just click Find Entries, and I can look at the original purchase order or the purchase invoice and see who I bought it from, how much I bought from them, and whether or not I can continue to buy from them. And this is really where you start to make your decisions. Are you going to see if you can find a different vendor? Can the vendor provide can this vendor provide a different price? Or even yet, do you even want to get rid of this particular SKU item altogether? So within the span of about 8 minutes, I was able to go in, I was able to kind of recap this. I was able to go to my BI reports, see how my products were doing. I could identify which ones were failing or weren't meeting the spec. I could then go back into BC and I could find out what specific raw materials or ingredients were causing some of the overages. And then I can have a strategy to get out of this. Do I, and as I mentioned before, can we go and buy another, get another vendor or negotiate with the vendor to get a different price? So the idea here is really to give you power at your fingertips, to be able to go in, find out what the problem is, and then determine how you want to take care of the problem from there. So.
Yeah, excellent, Eric. I mean, I think that was the intent, is to quickly sort of show, as we sort of started, show the myriad of factors that allow you to make, quick decisions, not only quick decisions, but accurate decisions, because all the data is in the core system. That's obviously the important piece.